When did you first hear like the phrase cluttercore, or like realize like, oh, like this might be something that I'm doing?
Oh, no, I know exactly when. A friend of mine texted me and was like, hey, have you checked out hashtag cluttercore? And I was like, no. And she's like, you need to do this. You are cluttercore. And like, you know, she's like, go check it out. And I checked it out. I was like, oh my God, this is me.
You can just fit things as you go. And if it doesn't work, take it down and try something else.
Cluttercore really is just a modern repackaging of the idea of maximalism. So what that looks like for me is less stuff doesn't always bring me joy. Sometimes more is more.
If you have like little figurines,
I love things from the Victorian era all the way up to like super kitschy cat figurines. I love mid-century glass, and I am obsessed with art. Every single wall has art on it. I don't have enough space for all the art I wish I owned. Just because I have this shelf of cluttered things behind me, it doesn't mean there's stuff all over the floor.
the dining room shelf is up.
And everything does have its place, even though there's a ton of things up there.
I think for a minimalist, like this probably does feel like hoarding, but I think the pandemic definitely impacted the way people collect and place stuff in their home.
As you can see, there's still more room on the top. I plan to make this whole wall like completely covered in stuff.
I actually used to think of myself as a minimalist. And the reason why was I was very much a rolling stone moving across the country many times. So I really didn't own that many things. And I think like so many people during the pandemic, you're stuck at home. The Joneses who you decorated for don't come over anymore anyways. And you're kind of looking around your space and you're just kind of realizing like when you're stuck in your space for that amount of time, it was about what does bring you joy. I've been waiting for these shelves and unpacking and needing these shelves.
So I think prior to the pandemic, there was a lot of conversation about Marie Kondo and decluttering, and we were spending predominantly a lot of time outside of our homes. Mm-hmm. And then there was a shift. And during the pandemic, you noticed like all of these Amazon and UPS drivers coming into neighborhoods. Whatever collections that people were having or whatever hobbies they took up, you know, I think that is the result of some of the clutter culture.
The way it's laid out now is even too cluttered for me, which is pretty funny.
I think some people find comfort when the space has more stuff in it, you know, that it feels like these spaces are like coming in and enclosing almost like a hug.
There's some fun knickknacks up here.
I do think generations previous that had just a lot of things, a lot of their items weren't very personal. A lot of their things were kind of like locked behind cabinets and you couldn't touch them. And growing up in a family that had a lot of like collectibles, my family had so much in storage that we never ever saw. They would open a box and be like, I forgot I owned that. You know, I don't forget I own these things because they're literally out on display.
It's just such a good way to make items pop.
I do think Cluttercore has taught me decorating with your instincts is okay, but nothing I own is so precious that somebody can't touch them.
But it all ties together.
I'm just not super worried about whether my home looks like a magazine or looks like the most current trendy items from a home goods store. I'm more hoping that my home feels kind of like a cabinet of curiosities.